I would describe myself as working as an independent team coach and executive coach. I major on teams, so that's my major from that perspective is on teams. The secondarily on individual coaching. And why is that? I find teams really interesting to work with. They bring that extra layer of complexity, and I think the individual coaching brings something that is extremely important, as almost to the fundamentals of the team coaching itself. So that's how I describe myself.
What were you or your organisation trying to do with regards to an internal team coaching capability?
It was a relatively high level one. So it was really about supporting teams to become more effective in whatever they were doing.
Yeah, where's the start of your EDT journey?
So I kind of read the book and thought that's fascinating, really interesting. And because I was looking after the functions divisions of the organisation, thought to myself, well, this is kind of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bit of a flat response to some of the work we're trying to do around teams, and I wonder if this gives any further insights or leverage or positioning that a team might be able to make use of. So I started to experiment with introducing the concept to the team. And in fact, what I used was like I said last time, I used your YouTube clip. You've got a YouTube clip out there.
Yes.
So I suggested to the team, watch this YouTube clip and come to the group ready to talk about what kind of team do you think you are? What type of team do you think you are? And so we used that as a discussion point at the beginning. And what I found working with different teams from HR, finance, marketing, comms, whatever it might be, is almost every time they'd be saying, well, actually, we think we're kind of both. And they were typically leadership teams. So they weren't kind of top of house, but they were, let's say regional leadership teams for those functions. So then the question was, okay, so if you're both, and if we kind of follow, just a simple form that, if you're an interdependent team, I think we call them real teams to try and distinguish them versus an extra dependent, or I think I described it as a functional team. Again, I was trying to just keep some language that they can use fluently. And real teams are about different skill sets coming together, different types of expertise around a common goal, or to create mutual accountability. And this over here was more about this common capability and kind of building the capability for the team. What do you notice about what it is you're going to need to do? And I guess the conversation allowed them to deliberately plan for what it was they needed to do. So that, ultimately they'd say, well, there are some things that we identify ourselves as a real team for, because there are some specific change initiatives that we need to deliver, and we're all playing different roles into that. And over here we've also got the fact that we have some common tasks that we're all going out and doing with our own client groups. And in the middle of that, there was also a little bit of a mixture, because on all those teams, of course, you tended to have a team that was, if it was 8 people, you'd have a team leader. You'd usually have a couple of specialists, and then let's say 5 business partners of some kind. And the business partners, really kind of identified very much with the extra dependent type team. Once you were talking with the specialists, they were within that group. They were kind of saying, yeah, but we work together and we work independently with each of the business partners. So we kind of make these almost like sub-real teams that then generate the goods. So it was a real mixture. But I think just by being able to articulate and identify the fact that you had both of these dynamics running, and both the real team activity where it was necessary and identifying where it was necessary was important, and the fact that there was a big opportunity for capability stuff that allowed them to build an agenda that almost married the two. So that was my entry point and kind of how I used it originally.
And so, as a team coach, what value did it bring to you?
So the first value was it gave me quite a long line of inquiry to thinking it through. So in application, it wasn't immediately obvious. I guess having read the book, but I came away thinking, right, these are all extra dependent teams. Watch the YouTube clip, and I expected them coming to say, we're extra dependent, and of course they said, no, we're a bit of both. So the first thing for me was some reflection myself on actually what is the nature of these teams, and how can I help them in both areas, and help them to define which part of this might be a real team versus functional team, etc. Yeah, it just gave me awareness of the difference, and through awareness of the difference, I can then challenge them on which aspects are they working on, and how are they separating them, or how are they doing them together, and how are they going to prioritize them. So it was a frame of understanding, to look at teams through there's this lens I can look at them, there's this lens I can look at them. So I think that was the key thing.